Hello, welcome back to this May online class organized by University of Pattern Drafting. Thank you for signing up for this course. I hope that thus far you've learned a lot. So this is part 4 of our class on how to draft a pattern for a shirt with front flyer and side pockets. And then I'm going ahead to sew up my front flyer. Can you see that? So I'm sewing this up and turning this. This is part 4. So if you've watched the previous part, you'd understand what we are doing here. So you can see how I turned my stitch. Can you see that? So I'm going to go ahead and open this up so that you see what this looks like. So I've opened this up. So when you open it up, place your flyer the way so you can see the flyer. Can you see that? So this is how smooth and clean this looks like. So I'm going to show you how to finish up your zip if you use the zip that is longer than the length that you're supposed to use. So cut out the edge. Can you see that I've cut it out to be smooth? Then I'll just cut out a piece of rectangular fabric. Can you see? Cut out a piece, just a small piece of rectangular fabric, maybe about 1 inch wide. So I'm going to fold that up. Can you see? Fold it up at the edge. Place it at the edge of your zip. Do you get? So you have folded one edge, that's the shorter edge, you folded it in, and then you just sew as though you are trying to turn the zip with bias. Do you get? So again, just watch me. Can you see that? Fold one edge. Do you understand? Place that against the edge of your zip. Sew it up to the other end. And then lock your stitch. Remember, you're sewing over the teeth of the zip. Can you see? So after doing that, see, flip it over, then turn the other side. Can you see that? Fold the other side the way you folded the first side. Fold the other side and then turn it over. Do you get? Turn it over twice. Do you understand? So that way you've covered that raw edge of the zip. Do you get? So you can use this for dresses, whatsoever, but you always have to learn to finish up your zip properly. So I'm just sewing that up. Do you understand? So it's essentially as though you're using bias to just finish up the edge of your zip. Can you see that? So this is what it is going to look like, just clean and smooth instead of just having that raw edge showing. So can you see how neat and smooth this looks like? Okay, now so this is what it looks like, and that is my flap, just peeping nicely. So this is what it looks like, and then I'm going to go ahead and see that other side is open, so we're going to stitch that up, and then I'm going to go ahead and fix my band. Let me show you how to fix the band. So open up your zip. Can you see that? So now this is the other side of the band that you didn't iron. Do you understand that you didn't fold 1/4 inch in? Can you see that's the raw edge? So the right side of your band against the wrong side of your short fabric. Can you see that? Leaving about 1/2 inch at the center front. Can you see that? So for the back, we're going to go ahead and split this into two. That's the band for the back. Divide that into two so that we can create a dart at that point. So I'm going to show you how this is done. So I've cut the band of the back into two. So here I'm going to stitch a core, sort of like a cut. I've measured 1/2 inch at the center of that band. Can you see that? And then I'm just curving it just to create a sort of like a dart at that point. Can you see? Just at the waist line side. So you can go ahead and trim this so that it will sit properly. And then you can sew this to your short shell fabric. So align the midpoint of the stitch on the waistband to the midpoint of your short. So remember that it is right side of the band against facing the wrong side of the fabric. Can you see? Right side of the band facing the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch. I'm stitching with about 3/8 inches seam allowance. So this is what it looks like. Can you see that? So I'm going to go ahead, iron this, and then also iron that 1/4 inch that I'm going to use to stitch, finish up the band, and then show you what it looks like. So this is my front now. Can you see? So I said right side of the band against the wrong side of your short fabric. Can you see? So I'm just going to go ahead and stitch this. Remember to leave like half an inch at the center. Can you see that there's space in front? Can you see that's on the band though, so that you can still turn that raw edge of the band. So this is me stitching it up. And then I'm going to fold this over. Can you see? So this is what it looks like. It's supposed to look like. And then now I'm going to fold that band into two. Can you see? Two exact parts. Can you see that? And then that half-inch mark that we left, sew it up. Do you understand? Sew it up. You're just essentially trying to close the front flyer area of that band. So sew this up. And trim it out, trim out the excess, and then flip it over so you don't see. Can you understand what I was trying to do? Do you understand? See how neat it looks? Do you understand? So now fold in your 1/4 inch and stitch on top. This is really easy to understand if you pay attention, so just watch closely and pay attention. So I'm doing the same for the other side. Can you see? So right side of your waistband against the wrong side of your shorts fabric. So I'm stitching it, leaving that 0.5 inches at the flyer area. So this is what this looks like. Fold it into two again. Can you see two equal parts? So it's just the band you're folding into two, and so close up that portion so that it's just nice and smooth. So this is how easy it is to actually sew a short with side pockets and front flyer. Do you understand? So now we're closing in that 1/4 inch, and then we're going to stitch on top. So to stitch on top, it might be better to use your zipper foot. Do you understand? Since you're trying to just sew up a very tiny thing. So now this is what my front looks like. Can you see? So I'm opening it up so that you would see. I've not closed, I've not sewn up, I've not top stitched. So can you see what it looks like? See that 0.5 inch point that I was talking about. So we're going to go ahead and top stitch. And then there'll be, ensure that as you're top stitching, ensure that the band aligns properly on both sides. And so this is my back. I'll go ahead and bend it in and top stitch. So ironing is a very important part of this process. So I'm going ahead to also hem. You can see this is me top stitching with my zipper foot. So can you see what that looks like? Ensure that when you're top stitching on the top, that's the right side. Do you understand? If you top stitch blindly, then you will not, your stitch will not be straight. Do you understand? And it will look rough. The finishing will be poor. So top stitch on top. Use a very small seam width, stitch width. Do you understand? Maybe like 3 or so. So this is what it looks like. Cut out the excess, and then we are good to go. So this is what my front with the flyer. Ensure that in sewing up the band on the area that has the flyer is outside. Do you understand? The flyer is the way it actually should be. So this is what this looks like. I hope this has been very helpful. So I would sew up my side seam and then show you what my short looks like now. So this is the band. Ensure that everything aligns properly, and in sewing up your side seam, also ensure that it aligns properly. So I'm top stitching the band for my back. Notice that I ironed my 1/4 inch hem inside. Can you see that? Before I start stitching, it's much easier than trying to struggle to be bending it as you're sewing. So this is what it looks like. I hope you found this class really helpful. If you found it helpful, please ensure that you leave a comment on the group. And then the assignment is going to be that everybody has to submit their pattern drafting picture of their pattern by weekend, and then during the week everybody has to upload pictures of their own shots that they have done. So this is what it looks like. I'll go ahead and sew up the side seam using that same 1.5 inches that we left for side seam, and then this is my shot. Can you see how clean and smooth it looks like? It looks really small because I wanted it really small. I'm going to wear with a t-shirt, so I just wanted it sort of like a bomb shot, something like that. So this is what it looks like, nice and clean. Remember to put, either you put your hook on the waist area or you use button and buttonhole. Do you understand? So thank you for watching. This is my pocket, this is my side pocket. Can you see how clean and smooth this looks like? Do you understand? This is how I expect everyone's own to be, but it doesn't have to be so perfect though. But at least I just want something, you know, really befitting of all of the efforts that we've put into learning. So thank you for watching, guys. Ciao.